Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's Breakout EDU session. We are so excited to be here today. My name is Jess, and I am just so excited. So we are your team here today from the Cobblestone Collective. We've got myself, Jess. I am from Medicine Hat, Alberta, Treaty 7 territory, and I'm a junior high math and science teacher. Amar, did you want to introduce yourself? Amar, you're muted.
Yeah, my name is Amar. I'm a teacher in the Peel District School Board, and I am ready to escape. Let's get the show on the road.
Amazing. Sounds good to me. So I just wanted to start today by acknowledging the land that I, as a settler, am currently living and working on, and that is Treaty 7 territory, the ancestral and traditional territory of the Métis people and the Blackfoot Confederacy, the Kainai, Piikani, Siksika, and Tsuut'ina First Nation, and Stoney Nakoda First Nations. And that for thousands of years, they have lived on and protected these lands. They continue to do so today. And I think it's really important that we walk through life with an attitude of being willing to learn and to have an open heart and open hands, and that when we have an opportunity to do better, that we learn and that we take that action. So just encourage you today to learn ways where you live that you can connect with those first peoples that are still there, living and working and protecting the lands, and just to take part in reconciliation any way that you can. I also want to remind you that we are on YouTube. So today you can play this video, but you can also pause it if you need to. You can rewind if you miss something, and you can come right back. We will still be here, and we are ready to go. We'd like to thank the Cobblestone Collective this morning for making this workshop possible. We are a series or a community of educators all across Canada and the United States who are working together to build foundations for learning and make it more fun with workshops like this. And we love our special guest here today from Breakout EDU. Hi, Devin. Do you want to say hello?
Hi, everyone. I'm Devin Lawton. I am in Santa Cruz, California, USA, which is Ohlone land. And I am super excited to be here.
Yeah, Devin, we are super excited to have you here as well. Breakout EDU is an amazing company that's doing really cool things to shake up the way that we learn in our classrooms and to make it more fun. Who doesn't want to have more fun in the classroom? I definitely know that I do, and I think we've got a ton of classes here today who are ready to do the same. All right, everybody. So here's today's plan. We're going to talk about Breakout EDU for a minute, talk about how you play, and then it's time to get to Breakout. At the very end of the workshop today, we will go through some of those game solutions. So never fear if you get stuck, we will be sharing at the end. But remember, you can pause if you're not quite ready to see the solution to the game. All right, before we start though, you can see and hear us, but we can't hear or see you. So we need a way that we can hear from you and know how things are going. So if you go to the cc.page/answers, that's where you can answer your questions and answer the questions we're going to ask. You might be in a browser window where you see our video and the form right beside. Great, you can answer there. But if not, you can go to a new tab and you can open up the form there. Let's try this. Let us know in the form, have you ever played an escape room before? We are curious. We would love to know. Have you played an escape room before? Let us know. And Amar, do we have any answers in that form? I know we have lots and lots of classes here today.
Yeah, we have quite a few answers coming in hot and fast. Before we get going, I want to give a shout out to Mrs. Bianchi's class, and I'm going to give a shout out to Colton, and lots of people have actually played. Nora's played before, Jose's played before, Joshua's played before, Apollo. I know this is new for Miss Cleland, so thanks for joining us, Miss Cleland. And hi to Miss McLean's class.
Amazing. Yeah, so I just want to give credit where it's due. Breakout EDU was the very first group and company that brought escape rooms to the classroom. I have been a big fan of Breakout EDU since the beginning, and I'm so excited that we get to do this together today. So if you have not played before, never fear. I'm going to give you a couple tips, and then we're going to get right into our game for today. So what is Breakout EDU? They have taken that escape room game that got really popular a couple years ago, and they thought, that would be really fun in a classroom, a really fun way to learn and to review. And so they brought it to the classroom. Now, today, we are going to do an online digital game. So you're going to get right in your internet browser that escape room game and get to play it. How do you play? Well, when we give you the link, we are going to give you a little link soon, and it will lead you to a screen that explains the story. All right. Once you're there, you're going to click the little hyperlink that says select your first lock to begin. You do not have to solve the locks to this game in order, but we are going to give hints in order of how the locks are arranged on the page. So how the game will work today is that you will get a chance. We're going to put up a timer on the screen, and we will be quiet for that time, about 6 minutes. And then after that time, we will come back, give a little hint. We're not going to give the solutions to the locks, so we'll just give a little hint so that you might give you the nudge you need. Remember, you can pause if you're not ready for that hint. All right. And then the photo or the video on each lock page gives you clues of how to solve that lock. So this is an example of one of the locks. It's a directional lock. So you're looking for some kind of clues with directions in that lock. And we also encourage you to work in a team today to solve the clues. Breakouts are way more fun together. Just like learning is better together, breakouts are way more fun that way as well. And my pro tip for you today, and I'll show you, I'm putting my money where my mouth is, all right? So grab a piece of paper or something to write with. Keep track of your progress and your answers. Work things out on the page. You don't have to try to keep it all up here. So if you need to pause us and go grab a piece of paper, something to write with, then do that, and then you can come on back. All right, everybody. So are we ready here? I think we're ready. I'm super ready. I'm really excited. It's breakout time. All right. So this is your link here, the cc.page/cc breakout edu, all lowercase. That is a case sensitive link. And if you head there, you're going to get into the escape room. All right. So we're going to give you 6 minutes. In the form, let us know when you get the lock open and what kind of hint might you give others to help them with that lock after you've gotten in. All right. 6 minutes on the clock, and here we go.
Hey, I know we're all working really hard right now, But I do want you to know that if you're having any trouble, you can pause this video, you can rewind it, you can go back, listen to the instructions, find the link. Like there's a pause button, okay? Even if you're not done at the end of these 4 minutes, pause it, take longer if you need it, okay? I'm gonna go back to being quiet, 4 minutes left. That's 6 minutes right over there. Before we get going, I want to give a personalized shout out to a very good friend of mine and Miss Jesselin's. Mrs. Hellman's class, you have one of the greatest teachers around, so shout out to you. We had so many great responses coming in. Idris, we are glad it's the first time you're doing this with us. Julia, awesome job getting it. Mia, you're right on task. Jesalyn, please take over.
Yeah, that farm is going crazy, everybody. So that is exciting. Lots of people getting it. Some people saying, we're kind of stuck. We don't know what to do. And this is my favorite part of an escape room with my students and for myself. When we run up against that moment where it's like, this is really hard. And unfortunately for you, if you're looking for the answer, we are not going to give it today because escape rooms are amazing for building something called that growth mindset. All right. You haven't got it yet. Keep looking for clues. The hint I'm going to give you today is to look, to hover over on the screen. There is the picture that has something written and a cell phone, a picture of a cell phone. Hover over it. You're going to see that you're able to enlarge it. Click on that image and read things closely, keeping in mind that this lock is looking for directions. All right, what kind of directions might they be looking for? You'll also see underneath the combination that there are some buttons that show arrows, which I don't know, maybe somehow factor in with directions, but that's all I'm going to give you. All right, we are going to move to our next lock number 2. If you have not moved on, that's okay. Keep going. And some of you may already be way ahead. That's fine too. But we're going to give 6 minutes and then another hint for lock number 2. The shape lock. All right. 6 minutes. Here we go.
Good luck, and remember, there's always a pause button if you need it. Hey everyone, I just want to share a hint from Hayden. Pay close attention to the text. Thanks, Hayden. That's awesome.
All right, everybody, that's another 6 minutes. So don't panic if you haven't gotten that second lock, that's fine. We're going to give a little hint. So if you need to pause, that's totally fine. But Devin, why don't you share a tip that you have from the behind the scenes at Breakout EDU? How would you approach this?
Absolutely. So the tip that I'm going to give you works for any puzzle or lock that you're working on. If you're feeling stuck, I really recommend you turn to your team, to your neighbor, to your classmates, and just talk about what it is you already know. Because when you talk about what you already know, your brain makes those connections, and pretty soon you'll realize that you have more information than you thought you did. So if you're feeling stuck right now, you can turn to the people around you and just talk about what it is you already know.
That is such a good tip. And it helps us to work collaboratively, right? It's really easy to kind of get stuck on our own, but we want to make sure that we continue that communication and the collaboration. Absolutely. I really like the response, the hint that Claire gave. Claire said, "We got the second one." My hint is that I would pay attention to the shaded rectangles at the top. So pay attention to those shaded rectangles because in a Breakout EDU game, nothing is a mistake, nothing is an accident. All right. So, why don't we continue on to the next lock? And again, if you have not gotten those locks open, it's okay to skip ahead and come back later. You might see something later on that jogs something in your mind like, "Oh, right, that's what I was thinking of," or that's what I need for that one. So, we're going to continue on and let's be quiet. Here we go for our next lock, the color lock.
Good luck, everyone. All right.
All right.
Sorry, Jesselyn. I just want to give a quick shout out to Miss Cotier's class. Emma's a dear friend of mine and Jesselyn's as well. So super happy for that. Kaylin, we are glad to see that you've been using those strategies and talking with your friends. I know it's still difficult sometimes. That doesn't always mean you get the answers, but I'm glad to hear you're trying it. Awesome job, Riley. Miss Del Bueno's class. Congrats. Zarina, great hint. Pay attention to the bold numbers and letters. Jesselyn, take it away.
Absolutely. So we've got people at all different levels here. We've got some people who have solved more, some people who are still struggling. Don't worry. Everyone can take this at their own pace. And remember, you can pause this at any time. You can come on back. But the hint that I'm going to give for this next one is to Google, if you're stuck on the color clue, the color lock, Google what a hex code is. Hex, H-E-X, a hex code, which is kind of perfect. We're getting close to Halloween, spooky season. So a hex code, that might help you out a little bit if you are looking to figure out that color lock. But that was a really good hint as well, to look at the bolded numbers and letters. That's really going to be helpful. All right, everybody. We are going to head to the next lock here, lock number 4, which is a number lock. And remember, think about what it's looking for. That's going to help you look at the clue as well. Click around, enlarge the images. If there's a video, make sure you watch it and listen to it. And we will be back in 6 minutes with your next clue.
Okay, that is Khan. Welcome back, everyone. Before we get going again, I want to say, Cole, thank you for recognizing how much work both Jesselyn and Devin have put into this. So thanks for recognizing that, Cole. Mrs. Mullenshot's class, Miss Fabrice, Sister Alphonse Academy, Miss Pelosi's class, Mrs. Rendas's class. Thank you all for joining us and having so much fun trying to escape today. That is super awesome. I saw a really good hint, I believe. If you give me 1 second. Oh man, I lost it. I lost it, Jesselyn. There was a really good hint from one of the students. Do you see that?
I see a lot of responses in that form. Why don't you keep looking? Devin, do you want to talk a little bit about this clue? Because this one, I feel like for this generation's maybe a little tricky.
Yeah, this one is hard. So this clue for this lock, you need to know a little bit about how a rotary phone works. So instead of you going and looking that up, I'll just tell you. A rotary phone, you have that dial with the numbers on it. You start at the top and it's spring loaded. So you're going to pull it down until you get to the number that you want. And then when you release it, it goes back up. And that's how it knows what number to dial. So if I wanted 6, I would start at the top and go down to the 6 and then let it go. And it would go and that dial tone, the length of it is going to tell me what number I dialed. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of a hint on how to find those numbers.
I think that's a really good hint. Amar, did you find the hint that you were looking for?
I didn't find the hint I was looking for, but I do want to say a very special happy birthday to both Colton and Gianfranco. We are so happy we could celebrate together with you today.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. All right, everybody. Now, don't panic. We are coming to the final lock. We have 6 minutes until we are going to give you that final hint. Don't worry if you have not solved it. Remember, before we give the solutions at the end, you can pause it and spend as much time as you need solving. But we're going to give 6 more minutes until we come back and give you that final hint.
1 minute. Okay, that is time. Welcome back. And why don't we do our last little bit of shout outs? Maybe second last. Let's see how the time goes. Mr. W's class, I'm glad you enjoyed this so much. Mrs. Coaster's class, happy birthday to Colton and Malia from Mrs. Coaster. So that's awesome. Mrs. Fabriz's Superstar Sixes, happy birthday to Murakami. Andrew, I'm going to do you a favor and give that shout out to Miss Smith's class. And Mimona, thank you so much for your kind words. Zinnia, we're so glad you had fun. Awesome, awesome, awesome. It seems like everyone's really enjoying this, Jesslyn. Why don't you take it away?
Absolutely. I am like buzzing right now. Just the excitement in the forum is so palpable. I can see so many people saying, this was so fun. Madeline says, I beat the game. Teamwork really helped. Someone from Mrs. Hellman's class says, classmates with the clutch. And this is just like, this is exactly for me as a teacher. This is what learning should be. This is so fun. And so awesome. This is so great. We are going to move into giving solutions to all of the locks. If you're not quite ready, all right, if you need to go back and look at our hints from before, you can do that. If you need to pause and come back because you just need a little bit more time to solve, that's totally fine. There is no shame in that. So pause now if you are not ready for the hints or the solutions, not hints. All right. So now that we only have everybody that's ready for the solutions, let's move ahead. So let's all just take a deep breath. Enjoy that feeling that you have. There were lots of classes that broke out, some broke out quickly, some took a little longer, but regardless of how long it took you to break out, you need to give yourself a pat on the back because this is such a cool kind of learning. This is such a cool kind of activity. You have just put your brain through such a workout, and this is causing your brain to grow. It's causing so many different connections to be made, and it's causing that growth mindset to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And so give yourself a pat on the back. That was really hard work, and it was really good work. The first lock is directional. So if you read the text messages, they contain directions and you need to put them in order. So for example, that first lock, it says, hey, did you hear that buzzing noise? Yes, it woke me up. I think I see smoke right by Doc's garage. What is he up to now? Must be one of his experiments again. Should we go down and check it out? No, Doc is better left alone. So it's really sneaky. And I know some people that maybe got that quickly, maybe have done a breakout before or they've done an escape room. And so they knew kind of what to look for. And I promise you, the next time you play a Breakout EDU game, you're going to know what to look for a little bit better too. So we put in that up, right, up, down, left, and that was our solution. All right, the next lock that we are looking for here is that second one, and it's a shape lock. This one was a little bit tricky because there were a couple things that you had to put in order, and also you had to eliminate one of the choices. So the way it worked, and someone gave that really good hint of looking at the rectangles at the top and how they're shaded. So you needed to put the red fuses in order of lightest to darkest, left to right. So that was definitely tricky. So we had to look at this one right here. This was the lightest, and it was connected to a square. So our first shape was a square, and then the next lightest was this one, and we saw it was a star. Okay, so then we had square, star, star, square, circle. All right. After that, the next one. This one was a little tricky because those 6-figure alphanumeric codes, that means alphabet letters, so letters and numbers, are called hex codes. And in internet speak, in coding speak, they represent colors. That's how computers know what color to make something on your screen. So if you were to Google a hex code converter and input the codes into it, you would find those colors in order. All right. And I love this one. As a tech nerd myself, I love embedding these kind of when I have done different escape rooms, I always love to look for these like techie kind of clues. And so that was super fun. Excellent work, Breakout EDU. Excellent, excellent clue. Love it. All right, the next one, and Devin talked a little bit about this, that this is called a rotary phone. So the clue is in the audio. You had to listen to the phone being dialed. You saw that there were some fingerprints on the phone. All right, and you know that the first 5 numbers you can see on that phone number were 555. So the first 5 sounds you hear were it ringing 555, and then you had to figure out, you knew that there was going to be a 9, a 7, a 4, and a 2, and you just had to figure out from how it sounded which number was being dialed. And the solution was 2974. All right, and that final lock was Morse code. All right, the I Spy security footage was showing different lights and they were turning on showing Morse code. So if you Googled a Morse code key, you could find that the solution was Roger. All right, everybody. So let us know in the forum. Share with us one thing you learned today that you're going to take with you. We would love to give some more shout outs and maybe hear from Devin again before we go. But let us know. What's one thing you're going to take with you today?
While you take your time and think about that, why don't we get to those shout outs? Miss Matheson's class, thanks for joining us. Hayden, we are glad that you came to join us today. Shreya, Rachel, Emily, Sophia, Mrs. Migliaro's class, Debbie, Andrea, it is awesome. And Juan, thank you as well. I didn't miss you. Let's see. Oh, Venezia actually learned about hexes today, so your little interest in hexes really paid off there, Jesselyn. That is awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Venezia. Ooh, Calvin also enjoyed learning about the hex codes and Morse codes as well. I do want to give a little special note. I know there's a few folks still working through this. When you get to this point of the video, you are going to be so happy that you just kept on trying. So like, keep on going. You're almost there. Nikita also loved learning about hex codes and what colors they represent in that code. Oh man, there are a lot of great answers, Jesselyn. Olivia, thank you for your kind words. Jaren, thanks for joining us. Mina, Miss Kenna's class. I like what Mrs. Kenna's class's answer is. It was so fun to learn and not to give up. And that's what I love about Breakout EDU. It makes learning fun. Sometimes when we're like working on paper, it can be a little tough, but Breakout EDU always keeps us kind of engaged with that little story, and the journey just keeps on going. So thank you. Great comment. Mr. Amatiello's class, thanks for joining us. Jesselyn, are you seeing anything great out there?
Yeah, I love this comment. Mina says, teamwork makes the dream work. We work together to brainstorm the clues to unlock the clues. And I just that I have a big poster up in my classroom that says we can do hard things. I always remind my students that you can do hard things, and this is a perfect example of that, not giving up and working together to do something. And man, the feeling when you get those locks open and then when you win, it's such a good feeling. So thank you so much everybody for joining us. Devin, what would you like to say here to end? It's been so fun hanging out with you for this whole hour.
I was going to say the exact same thing that you just said. I'm looking through all these comments, and that comment stood out to me as well. Teamwork does make the dream work. I'm so glad that you guys were able to work together to find out solutions. Because remember, when we're working in our groups, we all bring something different to our teams. So you never know. There might be something that you're really stuck on, but the person next to you might have gotten that part right away, and they might be really stuck on a part that you got right away. So that's the great thing about breakout games, is you get to collaborate with your classmates, with your friends, and you get to use some creative and critical thinking skills to solve these locks. Great job, everyone.
So good. I saw another one here. Let me find it. Kathy says, one thing I learned today was that sometimes you have to think outside of the box. And that is so true. Yes, in school, your teachers are always saying, oh, think creatively, think outside the box. But this kind of activity just gives us the opportunity to actually do it, right? It's sometimes hard in like our normal everyday kind of stuff that we're doing. It's hard to get out into a different mind frame. So we would just like to thank BreakoutEDU for making this possible today. Thank you for building this fun game. There are hundreds of games on their websites, and teachers, you have a really cool little sneak peek gift coming in your inbox. So keep an eye out for that. We are so excited that we got to be here with you today, and we hope to see you again soon in another session. But keep working together, keep building those teamwork skills, keep building that growth mindset, and more than anything else, keep having fun. We look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Be safe, everyone. And I didn't forget you, Miss Kenna's class, Miss Zani's class, Anya, Julia, Jackson, Dylan, Matthew, Dorita. Thanks again, everyone. If I didn't call your name, please forgive me. Hopefully we'll do it next time. Take care. Be safe.